Hello my fellow med students, nursing students, PT students, and hypochondriacs freaking out over a predict bump. This is not medical advice, but it's probably a bug bite. My name is Sebastian with Dr. Images MD. This video is using pictures to teach you about Pemphigus vulgaris in a way that you won't forget. I still have classmates today who call this disease the pimp in a skirt. Now that sounds ridiculous, but let's find out why it's not. Now this is the vulgar pimp's pustules. Starting with our background here, we can see we are in a townhouse of sorts. We'll be focusing on the upstairs portion of this video, and the following video, called The Bullfrog Pimp in the Basement, will, as its name states, cover the basement portion of the house. Let's get started with this colorful fellow, in the purple and green. I will admit my experience with pimps is limited, but it is my belief that this is the classic appearance of one of these shady individuals. He is cursing like a sailor, or pimp in this case, and giving us Pimp Vulgar, or Pemphigus Vulgaris. Notice our pimp is a young man, the classic presenter of Pemphigus Vulgaris. He has all the necessary pimp toys like a cane and a cape. Now that we've proven I have a very stereotypical idea of what a pimp should look like, let's look at the desmosomes, since PV is a disease involving these adhesions. Let's start up by looking at the desmosomes themselves. For this image, we will use these genes to represent the part of the desmosomes we care about, desmogliin. I understand this isn't perfect, but I assure you this is the most stretched meaning for an image in the whole video, so stay with it and you won't regret it. Desmosomes are a type of cellular junction that functions almost like a spot welding, holding neighboring cells together. It is important to note a desmosome takes two cells, each providing the protein from its own side, and then joining together in the middle like Velcro. Inside the cell they connect with intermediate filaments, represented here by these light blue lines. Filaments crisscrossing the cell form desmosomes that are almost like the inner webbing all around the cell. Now, this is a distinction from other cellular skeleton components like actin, which rather than crisscross the cell, surround the cell like an internal wall, and hook up with a completely different type of cellular adhesion. Now it's time to see what went wrong with desmosomes to cause PV. Well, if you look at the healthy desmosome above, you can see it as number 1 and 3. This stands for desmogliins 1 and 3. These desmogliins are attacked by antibodies. Now this essentially disrupts the desmosome, causing it to fall apart. You'll notice desmoglin 3 is the more important, and thus it's on more pairs of genes. So let's add some antibodies here on our pimp's cane. We can also see the cane itself is now a G cane. That's right, our pimp carries a G cane because he is such a gangster. Now this stands for IgG, the type of antibody that mediates PV, or Pemphigus vulgaris. So now we have IgG antibodies attacking and disrupting desmogliins, thus attacking and disrupting desmosomes. Without the spot welding holding cells together, you get these blisters. These are intraepidermal or superficial blisters, and thus we can see here the middle of our wall is fine, but the superficial drywall part has blistered to a flappy edge. These are often called flaccid intraepidermal bullae, and it is caused by the acanthosis that occurs when the desmosomes are disrupted. Essentially, the keratinocytes of the stratum spinosum are no longer well connected and cannot maintain their integrity. To help you remember that it is the name stratum spinosum that is disrupted, we added spikes to our genes. The name stratum spinosum is basically spiky layer, and desmosomes are the main reason why it's called that in the first place. We also just added a bullae lysing that shows how flaccid and unstable their blisters are and how easily they rupture. We're going to add a few more blisters here on the pimp's arms to help you remember they are superficial. Also, we removed our pimp's pretty smile and replaced it with a mouthful of bullae. This is one of the defining features of Pemphigus vulgaris over bullous pemphigoid, and is a key feature to remember. Pemphigus vulgaris causes blistering that includes the oral mucosa, where bullous pemphigoid, which is the topic of our next video, does not. A good way to remember this is that the vulgar pimp has a vulgar and thus dirty blistered mouth. That pimp is young, NG, and hence the young age and the IgG. He has anger issues and thus pops his top easily or ruptures easily. Now let's kill off our main character, Mr. Pimp. He is dead because untreated Pemphigus vulgaris is often fatal. Since he is dead, it makes sense that he is in a graveyard with tombstones. This represents the tombstone appearance of the basal lamina, or basal layer. The second to last thing involves our pimp getting a little cross-dressy. Remember, he lost those jeans, so now he has no pants left. So what's a pimp to wear? Well, he's going to wear a skirt. Now he doesn't want to not be classy, so he throws on a fishnet leggings to match his skirt. These leggings, backed up with a yellow color, represent the immunofluorescent staining that is a fishnet in style, classic of PV since desmosomes connect cell to cell. And the final thing to add to this picture is the price the pimp charges. That's 5 cents. Though since he died, he has dropped his nickel on his toe, causing this blister to peel off. This represents the positive Nikolsky sign of Pemphigus vulgaris. And there we have it, the vulgar pimp's pustules to describe Pemphigus vulgaris, check out our next video about bullous pemphigoid that occurs downstairs of the pimp's basement. Hope you enjoyed our video, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and in about a month, check out our website, doctorateimagesmd.com. I'm Sebastian with Doctorate Images MD. Have a productive day.